Hi everyone, it's Cami, Blushing Foreigner. Hope you are well. I'm not wearing very much makeup right now. I don't look so hot. I'm on my sofa instead of at my makeup vanity because this video is gonna be a little different. I really wanted to make a video for all of you. I miss you. It's been, a few weeks, several weeks since my last one, and a lot has happened since then. And I debated what I should talk about, contemplated talking makeup, and I just can't do that right now because something else is sort of weighing on my mind. I've debated heavily whether I should talk to you all about this or share this very personal event in my life with you because it is a delicate subject. I've always wanted my channel to be focused on positive things and good news and makeup and expat adventures, living abroad, what I've learned, what my life is like. I've shared my wedding with you. And I've enjoyed sharing everything with you. It's always been really positive for me. So in that spirit, because I've tried to be open and honest about my life, I thought I would share with you where I've been recently and some of the struggles I've had in the last year or two, a couple years, to start a family. I'm gonna be a little emotional today. I'm really sorry about that. If it's not your cup of tea to watch a YouTuber cry on camera, then I would recommend not watching because I do not want to bring any negativity into your life or be a bummer here. This is supposed to be fun and this video isn't so much fun, but I think it will be good for me actually, and if I'm going to be a little selfish, it will be good for me to talk about it a bit. I have been going through infertility. Martin and I have the perfect storm of different problems that will prevent us from having kids naturally. We've known this for a long time. Since before we were even married, we knew it would not happen naturally, most likely, definitely. We have been under the supervision of some doctors here. We went to a fertility clinic pretty early on because starting a family is very important to us. We're not kids anymore. We're well into our 30s. He's late 30s. I'm mid 30s, and we want children. That's sort of one thing I've always wanted. I've known since I was a tiny person that I needed to be a mother, and I didn't know when it would happen, but I always knew it had to happen, and that was such a part of my life, a stage I was so excited for. And once I finally found the right guy and got a husband, I was like, let's do this, and he was so excited. And we have done a lot of cycles. We've done 8 rounds of medically assisted cycles. I won't go into all the details of why and what my problems are. It's a variation of problems. I'm older and I have not enough eggs, diminished ovarian reserve, and endometriosis, and then Martin has a few things going on. So it's not, I don't want to gross you out or describe any of the problems, but we have been through many cycles. Things just haven't been working out very well for us. They don't quite know why it's not working. So we've done combinations of IUI with hormone stimulation and IVF. In January, we started a cycle of IVF. It all lined up well, and they test your body and they monitor everything. I don't have a lot of eggs to harvest, but they got out some. They were looking great, and on this last cycle, I got pregnant, and I was so freaking happy. It was the best news ever. We were just thrilled. It felt like a miracle, and we were just like, we couldn't believe it. And the doctor or the nurse called and was like, this one's positive, you got it, you're pregnant. And I was just like in disbelief, the happiest person you could imagine. We just screamed and jumped up and down, hugged each other, cried. I told my family. My sisters have been here through this with me, not here in Denmark, but they've been living this ride with us. And my parents as well, and Martin's parents. We haven't told a ton of people, but my closest friends here in Denmark all know that I've been going through this and getting help and fertility treatments. It worked, so I was just enjoying it and taking it easy and doing my normal life, feeling great. I've been going to a PT clinic, a physical therapy clinic that specializes in infertility and alternative treatments, and they put on a lecture for women. They brought in a specialist from the US who's doing something called Mercier therapy. I was sitting in a room with like 40 women, a few men. I chatted with the woman next to me and I got to tell her, oh, I'm pregnant. And it was the first time I'd said it aloud to a stranger, and I just felt like that smug pregnant lady. You know how pregnant women are so smug? There's a video about that. I'm gonna link you to a video by Garfunkel and Oates. that is so friggin' funny, and it's called Pregnant Women Are Smug. And I've always felt that when I was watching people get pregnant. And that's not mean. I don't mean to be mean. I think pregnant women are beautiful and it's magical. But there's a little element of smugness that I was showing, and she was sitting next to me and she's like, oh, congratulations. And then there was a few other moments where I told people I was pregnant, you know, just offhand, oh, I'm pregnant, I can't have that, you know, cheese or whatever, no soft cheeses. It just felt so good to be able to say those words. Like, I'd been waiting my whole life to be able to say, I'm pregnant. And you probably can figure out where this is going. I say I was pregnant because I lost the pregnancy. I had a scan at the hospital and I had been bleeding before that in early March, and the doctor said, we need to check on you because you've had some spotting and some bleeding. My numbers looked really good. They were testing my hormones. There's something called beta HCG, and that's the pregnancy hormone. You only have it when you're pregnant, and my numbers were pretty high, which is a good sign. But when they scanned me at the ultrasound, there was no pregnancy in my body. They couldn't find anything in my uterus. So that was really awful to hear. I'm really sorry, you guys. I don't mean to be a freak here. It's just so hard to talk about. So after the doctor left the room, I kind of fell apart and collapsed on Martin and couldn't believe it. And all I could say was just, how could this happen? Like, what is happening right now? Why are we losing this thing, this baby? So the doctor came back in and said, we need to see you in gynecology. So they sent me down to the gynecology clinic, and I met with the head of the department there. And he sat me down and he said, I'm gonna scan you, but no matter what, we're gonna operate on you today, because this pregnancy is over and it's probably in your tubes. It's probably an ectopic. And I don't even remember what happened next. He scanned me, couldn't find anything, saw a shadow in my fallopian tube, and he said, I'm gonna admit you right now and we're gonna operate on you tonight. And it's done laparoscopically. They go in through, I just poked my belly button where I've been operated on. They go in through your belly button and then 3 other incision marks in your lower abdomen, in your pelvic area. And they try and look for it with a camera and remove any pregnancy because it cannot survive outside of your uterus. So what did I do? I was pretty stunned and sad and scared. I was devastated to lose the baby, but I quickly had to not let devastation overrule me. I had to get to planning. I had to prepare for a surgery, and I've never been operated on before. I'm not a fan of hospitals. I really don't like hospitals or needles or things like that. I've learned to overcome it. Actually, going through infertility, you have to get used to a lot of needles and shots, so that's not a problem for me anymore. I can handle that, but just being admitted into a hospital, it's scary. There are people there who have it far worse than me, who've been in accidents and are fighting cancer and have far worse tragedies than what I was dealing with that day. But I was a little scared. What did I do during that time? I got my hospital gown and Martin sat there stunned and held my hand. And what did I do? I kind of numbed myself actually with my phone. I didn't know that was possible, and I didn't quite know what I was doing in the beginning, but I just started making plans. I started doing research. I didn't have my computer, but I just started texting people and writing my best friend here and Louisa and a few other people saying, well, I'm not going to be pregnant anymore. I'm not, I'm being operated on. Goodbye, hope you're well. And it was just the strangest thing in my life where I was just like, what do I do right now? Because I don't want to feel this crushing sadness that I feel. So I'm going to turn to my technology. And I actually later, when I realized what I was doing, I thought of Louis C.K. and that amazing video, that very poignant video where he was on, was it Jimmy Kimmel, I think? Where he was talking about how we turn to our technology and gadgets to numb ourselves. And that's what I was doing in that time. For sure, because I was scared and sad and I didn't really feel like feeling all of those things. I just couldn't. I don't think I was strong enough to really go there and just grieve while preparing for surgery, while trying to make sure Martin was okay. He wasn't. I wasn't okay. We were just kind of two scared, I don't know, dysfunctional people at that time. Anyways, they operated on me that night. I woke up in recovery. It took about an hour. I really wanted in recovery to reassure them that I was fine so that I could go back and see Martin, because he wasn't allowed to be anywhere near the operating theater. I had amazing doctors in there. They were incredible. The surgeons, there was 2 anesthesiologists, 2 different surgeons, a scrub nurse. I was counting, I think it was 7 or 8 people. And I was talking to them before they put me to sleep, and I just really liked them because I was sitting there going, you know that today I've lost my baby, and I don't want this to be about, you know, just a surgery. I want you to know what I've been through, which is a lot of heartache, and it all has ended today. The heartache started today, but this journey of trying to get pregnant is ending. And the anesthesiologist was just nodding and holding my hand, and he just said, I'm really sorry, you know, life is so unfair. And he also said, just don't ever stop trying. And I remember that was the last thing I heard before I fell asleep, was just don't stop trying. And it was very meaningful. It was good for me to hear that. So I was taken back to my hospital room after I'd spent some time in recovery, and I'd proven to them that I was okay enough to see Martin, because my #1 goal was to make sure he was okay, because it's harder on the people who are not in the surgery room being put to sleep than it is for the people going under, I think, because he was just terrified. He didn't know if I was okay, or if they'd found bleeding, or if it was bad or not. And, you know, I was okay. I was fine. And then I got to see him in my hospital room, and he was waiting, and my mother came out right after. When I was in the operating room, she was booking a ticket. She called Martin and said, I'm coming out, I'm leaving tomorrow. And she was there the next day. I was out of the hospital then, I was at home. And that's really when the physical pain arrived. The doctor said, you know, you're gonna be through the process of shedding, and it hurts. You're gonna have contractions, and everything needs to come out, and take some ibuprofen. And I was in a lot of pain when my mom got here. I was hunched over with a heating pad on, and I kind of just fell apart when I saw my mom. She came up the stairs to the apartment and hugged me, and I just said, Mom, I'm not okay right now. I'm sorry, I don't know how to be a good hostess. And she's like, that's okay, baby, I'm here now. And she made everything better in a way. Martin did an amazing job taking care of me and getting us food and cooking stuff and keeping the hot heating pad warm, and my mom took care of other things too. She just held my hand and talked to me and said, this isn't over, Cam. You haven't gone back to zero. We're gonna keep trying again. We're here for you all the time. And it was so incredible to know that I had that much love and support through one of the darkest hours in my life. To know that, you know, I had my family, and if I have them, I can handle anything. So even though it's hard, and I'm very sad to have lost this baby, and I was due in October 17th. Once I started feeling better, we did some house projects, and she sewed some pillows. We have a nice built-in area, and it was just kind of empty, so we made pillows and seat cushions, and then we bought a chandelier, one of these used chandeliers that we found on De Blovis, which is like the classifieds, and we got that hung up. It's very beautiful, and it makes me happy. And even though it came on the heels of a very sad and tragic event, I look at that chandelier and I think, you know, there's always going to be light. It's so cheesy. I can flip a switch and there's this beautiful light, even when it's dark. So I'm finally starting to allow myself to feel and not to just escape into my gadgets. And you know, when I get sad, I don't just send a text to a friend and say, hey, let's go meet for coffee tomorrow. I try and say, why am I sad? How can I deal with this right now? It's gonna be okay. A little bit of, you know, soothing and self-healing approach. But it's April soon, and the sun is coming back, and I think I'm gonna be okay. I know I'll be okay, and I'm not gonna give up in this struggle to become a mother. Martin and I know that our baby is out there and that we will become parents. We just don't know when now. We thought we kind of had an idea of when, and now we don't. Obviously, I feel a bit robbed. I feel like life has played a cruel joke on me in some ways, but it's not okay for me to sit here and say life's not fair. I think life has been really good to me, actually. I've had a great life, and I'm really happy with my life, even though it has some struggles in it. Yeah. Anyways, I hope I haven't like bummed you out too much. I probably have. I am sorry if this has been too much information or too personal. I know some of you may not agree with me oversharing like this, and that's okay. I understand that. But it felt right for me to actually push myself to explore some of these emotions, to explore these dimensions of what we're going through of infertility. And I actually been blogging about it. I wrote one blog post and I haven't told anyone where it is, but I may tell you guys that if you are curious to know what it's like for people with infertility, or what are some of the emotions women go through, or this woman goes through, dealing with her infertility, I'll link you to my blog. It's just one entry and it's sort of all the crazy random emotions I feel on account of my infertility. And I wrote it mainly for people who are just curious, who maybe aren't there themselves, or maybe they are, or maybe they just don't know what their friend is going through because their friend may be infertile, and what is she feeling day to day, you know, and how can you kind of stand in her shoes for a few minutes and see some of those feelings. And I know when I was on the other side of this, when I had a very close friend, one of my best friends, dealt with infertility for 5 years and tried to become a mom for so long. She did so many cycles of IVF that they stopped counting. She got her happy ending. She has twin babies and they're gorgeous, and she's a wonderful, happy, very thankful, blessed mom. Probably a better mom because of the experience that she's been through. But I remember when she was in the pit of despair, I didn't know what to say often, and I probably said all of the wrong things. There's so many wrong things that you say, like, oh, but there's adoption, you know, it's like everyone knows there's adoption, but that's sometimes not an easy, you know, thing for everyone to go to right away. It's always an option for me. I would love to adopt. It's very difficult to adopt in Denmark, but I would do that in a heartbeat. I would love to adopt. But you also sort of want a baby that shares some of your chromosomes or your husband's chromosomes. So there's that dimension too. For most people, the majority of this population chooses to, if they can, have a genetic baby. And then, you know, some people don't, and those are the heroes in this world, but I stand with the majority who would love to be a pregnant lady and give birth. But people, you know, and people always say, oh, just stop trying. Once you stop trying, you'll get pregnant. And it's like, all these things where I'm like, you just don't know. You haven't read my medical history and you don't know. But I don't fault people for trying and, you know, caring and saying things even if it's the wrong things. And I don't mean to be harsh on people and say, oh, don't say the wrong thing, because how the heck do you know? But that's why I wrote this blog post, this entry about some of the feelings we have. And there's a great community online of women who help other women who are dealing with this, because it's not an easy battle. I've made this video and I'm sharing this intensely private story with all of you because I really trust you. I have 5,000 plus subscribers, and you're all such cool, nice, thoughtful people, men and women. I trust you to not, you know, punish me for being so divulgent and for being so personal. I know you're gonna be nice to me, and I thank you for that in advance. And thanks for the love and support. Rachel, you've been a great friend through this and said some really nice things and checked on me, and I really appreciate that. That really makes me feel better. So anyways, thank you guys. I hope you're all well. Next video, I won't talk about sad stuff. I'll talk about makeup, like this hourglass. This is a really good product. It's the Femme Nude number 3, and it's my favorite nude lipstick right now. I'll talk about it in another video, but it looks like this and it makes me happy. Anyways, take care guys. Bye.